I've got a truth to tell. It's something I've known that was true my whole life. I couldn't tell you exactly where it started. Maybe with Peter Pan and Captain Hook, or that short story, Uncle Pirate, or even that one part in James of the Giant Peach, or if it's because of my love for treasure, or if it's because of my heart that longs to have a blade in my hand. All I know is that it's something that's been true my whole life. I am a pirate. I always have been, and I've been ashamed to admit it for one reason. And that reason is I've never had a proper sword, a good cutlass to go into battle with. So today, we will be fixing that by turning this cheaper $30 machete from Home Depot into a proper cutlass that any pirate can feel honored to go into battle with. Even a fraud like me. So, a week or so ago, I finally went out and picked myself up a machete from Home Depot for $30. I brought it to the woods a few times, played around with it. It's not bad for a machete. But mainly there's two things that really bother me about it. Number one, the handle is absolutely hard. It is so bad. Every time I swing with it, it's just so uncomfortable in my hand. And on top of that, you can barely control it because it's so light and the blade feels so heavy. This isn't good when you're swinging a sword. Which brings me to my next point. The tip at the end of it is completely curved up, which is, of course, how a machete is supposed to be. But it's really hard to swing, get multiple swings off at once. And also, on top of that, there's basically 0% chance that you're going to be able to successfully stab your enemy. So, what's really wrong with it? Number one is, firstly, I'm going to be changing the tip shape. I have to make that a pretty flat. Basically, the profile of the cutlass is how I want it to look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely make a new handle. I'm going to cut down this blade a little bit so it's a little more straight. And I'm going to put the blade right here too, just to make it really feel like a sword. Now that the blade is finished, we can finally start working on the handle. So this is it. It might not look like much, but I swear to you, it is the cutlass handle. I got it all marked out where I gotta cut. I gotta trim this thing a little bit. But overall, this is pretty much done. And so something that really helped me in the long run was, so you remember how I made that originally, this thing to see how long the handle had to be? Well, what I did is I made another one, and I put it on here to see exactly what the handle would look like, and I made sure that this is exactly how I wanted it and this is how it should feel, and so it's in position of exactly how I would have it. Now, as I was sculpting this and trying to get this in shape, I would line it up to this to see if like the angles are exact. And this is supposed to be like that. Yeah, the angles are exact, and like that's exactly how I want it to be. And that really helped me. So I recommend you do the same thing. If you're trying to make this, I recommend you make a paper version of it. For this handle, I'm going to be doing something I've never done before. I'm going to be using stacked leather, which is basically a method of making a handle. You've probably seen it on K-bar knives, or if you've scrolled Pinterest for long enough, you've probably seen something that is stacked leather. And again, I've never done this before, so it should be a pretty cool learning experience for me as well. Okie dokie, artichoke. What we're gonna be doing here is I cut out about, I don't know how many that is. Someone who's smarter than me, I don't know, probably like 40, 30, 20, something like that. Amount of these little leather squares. And this is scrap leather of like pieces I'm probably never gonna use. What we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna be taking this here epoxy. We got JB Weld, love these guys. Not sponsored, but I've used their clear coat. It's absolute crap. Do not get their clear stuff. Get their gray, just like this steel reinforced epoxy. This one's 46 hours, but I know you can get some that are quicker. It just depends on what your work speed. And for something like this, I think I'm gonna take it not 6 minutes to do all of this. So yeah, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm just gonna, you saw before what it'll look like. I'm going to epoxy each individual piece, and then I'm gonna put it on stack, 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 stack. Then I'm gonna clamp it down, and it should be held on pretty well. Once that's done, we're gonna come off and we're gonna trim it into a handle. It should be really awesome. Now, just clamp it in a vise and wait for this to dry. Alright, so it's next day. It's nice and bright outside. This is what happened overnight. This thing feels like it's pretty much completely dry. And on top of that, I mean, I don't know. I got a good feeling about this. So what I'm gonna do right now is I know I've seen some people use like a what's that thing called? It's like a drill press, but for like a saw. It's like a bandsaw. Yeah. They use a bandsaw to just like cut it off and but I don't have one of those. For a multitude of reasons. So I'm just gonna probably use saw and just go off the side, cut this down until it's like the exact handle size I want. Probably like the size of this hammer. Like, I'd say that much. So I got a lot of cutting to do. And in retrospect, thinking back now, probably didn't have to make all these pieces so square. Should have made them more like a rectangle. You know? But hey, first time for everything, so let's do that. Okay, so to be honest, I was a little worried about this build. Look at it, you know, it's not exactly how I planned it. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna turn out the way I want. But with one cut, my faith is restored. Watch this. See that? That's exactly what we want. So right now, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be using this little knife here. to shave away and turn our, and make ourselves a good handle. You want a really sharp knife for this, so that's why I recommend one of these. I just put a new fresh blade right now, and I don't think this would be able to cut so smooth if it was like an older blade. So I recommend getting a brandy new blade for this. But yeah, this is gonna turn out nice. Now we just gotta hope I don't cut it too shallow. Alright, well, it's not absolutely perfect, but I think this thing turned out pretty nice for a, at least first try. Yeah. So now let's take this whole handle off and put on this. Oh, that's gonna look so cool. Alright, so I miscalculated and the handle landed to be a little too short at the end. So what I did is I just took some paracord, I wrapped it around, and then I wrapped some electrical tape around it. You can kind of see the paracord right there. And honestly, this feels really fine to me. Like, I really like how this feels. I just really didn't want to make this, because this handle was too small without the extra bit. I just miscalculated. It's my bad. And so now I'm going to be putting on this. And here, I'll do that right now. Perfect. This is pretty much it. Wow. Beautiful. Oh, jeez, look at this. I really gotta clean up my workstation, huh? Well, then let's do that. There we go. Much better. While our sword is drying, let's make ourselves a sheath. My final thoughts? Well, this is one of the most beautiful things I've ever made. It's simple, durable, and it won't break. Like, I mean, I have done so much to this in the short span I've had it. You can see all of it. And it is not going to break anytime soon. I don't think it will. I can't even see a weak point that might break. And I can say this with total confidence. This is one of the best things I've ever made. It's so nice and beautiful. The hand guard, I feel like I can use the brass knuckles, and this, it's just so good. The other great thing about this is that I can wear it on my hip for hours at an end, and I have. It's really comfortable and really isn't that big. And I'm definitely taking this in the apocalypse on top of some of the other things I've made. But this is definitely going on my apocalyptic list, and I am definitely going to be taking this with me when the apocalypse happens. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. If you don't mind, I've got to rob some British naval ships with my new proud Cutlass. I'll see you scallywags later. And well, farewell, friend. Alright, now just get me a crack of all this foliage, alright? Ready? A note to any buccaneer trying to attack a pillow with feathers in it. You don't do it on the grass. I literally have tried. You cannot get this out. You just gotta wait for the rain. Look at this.